Welcome everybody again. This is Dell, and we are going over the ancient solfeggio frequencies as they relate to Pythagorean tuning and Guido of Arezzo, who is the one responsible for inventing solfeggio. Solfeggio is basically a sight singing method of learning to read music. So anyone who's had ear training in college has probably been subjected to the torture of solfege. Some people might not say that, but many of my students used to complain about that. Anyway, so we're looking down here at the different solfeggial frequencies, which they're saying 396, 417, 528, 639, 741, 852. Ut, re, mi, fa, sol, la. Across the top here are all the different tuning systems that have been used probably since the time of Bach. It doesn't go as low because it used to go as low as 415 or as high as 456, I believe. So you have quite a spread in what the actual concert pitch is. So these refer to concert pitch, meaning that the A above middle C is going to be tuned to 442 hertz or 440 hertz or 438. And then you tune all the other pitches within some sort of a system to those. Okay, so if you're looking at what we have here, if you see this scale, it's basically an octave between this G, which is above middle C, and then this was in an octave higher. So it's a little more than an octave. So let's look at the intervals between these notes. We have G to G sharp, which represents a half step or what we call a minor second. Then we have G sharp here to a C, which is a diminished fourth. That's a pretty large leap, and not generally you're going to find that in a scale itself. Then you have C to E flat. If you're calling it an E flat, then it would be a minor third. If you're calling it C to an F, because we don't know, this fa or 639 is going to be somewhere between these two pitches. So it could very easily be a major third, depending on where it falls. Anyway, then if we'll pretend, let's say it's a major third, then that would be going to the F sharp would be the next one. So it's either going to be a whole step, half step, major or minor second. And then you have F sharp to G sharp. If you're calling it that, it'll be a major second. But if it's really closer to the A, then it's going to be a minor third. So you've got quite a difference in the set of scales. Okay, if you look over here, you will notice that you have to jump between 4 tuning systems to make all of the solfeggial frequencies work. So here, this one's between, it's probably A445 because it would be right smack in the middle. Then the next one would be in the 442. Then the 528 matches with the 444. So you hear a lot of people saying tune your instruments to 528 or 444 so that the 528 works. But if you do that, then none of the others are exact. They're going to be close, but they're not exact. And again, as I said in the last video, the 639 and the 852 do not work in any of them. So as you can see here, the pitches are anywhere between A440 and A46, depending on which tuning system that you are using. And again, as we said before, we know that at the time that Guido of Arezzo invented the solfeggio system, he was using Pythagorean tuning. Pythagorean tuning is much more closely related to our current scale than what this one represents. In addition, ut was C. Here it's listed as G. So that's another interesting fact. All right, let's go over to some of the videos. I really don't want to be on Facebook. Okay, then we are going to skip over here, and we're going to listen to the hymn that Guido invented to well, actually, he didn't invent the hymn. He used the lyrics from the hymn with his own melody to help teach his students how to sight sing. So we're going to listen to this. This one is put on by a person with a screen name here, Rebecca Hoodify. So feel free to go in and type this information in and you'll find her video. So we're going to listen to this for a minute. This is the hymn that Guido of Arezzo used. And there's her information if you want information on that particular video. Okay, we're going to, probably not in this one, but in the next episode, we're going to skip over and listen to some Howard Goodall videos. But you will notice from that particular one that we were watching that the words, she had it read it out, the first two letters, that indicates the first note of the particular scale. Ut, re, mi, fa, sol, la. And that's what Guido would use in order to teach his students where the pitches were on his staff. And they are stepwise. The ancient solfeggio frequencies are not stepwise. As you can see here, there's no way that these match with the actual pitches of what Guido wrote. And again, we know that that's what he wrote because he invented musical notation and he was a monk, and because of that he was able to write down 10 years worth, well, it was actually, it would take them 10 years to learn the chant repertoire because it was all done by ear. And so it basically, what he did was come up with a sense of musical notation so that the people who had to sing the chant could understand and learn the chant repertoire much quicker. It cut it down from learning it over 10 years to 1 year. And so that's really what brought us musical notation, and he used solfeggio to teach people how to sight read, which, again, as I said before, anyone who is taking music at the college level, you will have many, many years of ear training. And we did used to call it ear straining in college for a reason. So we hope you enjoyed this video, which is part 2. So stay tuned for part 3 and a little bit more about Guido of Arezzo.